It is time for America. Welcome to round 7 of the Ultimate Mobile Racing League. The US Grand Prix has happened in the past in this league, but never around the circuit of the Americas. And so I say hello everyone, my name is Larry and this is the Ultimate Racing 2D1 version of this track again. It is not the most realistic, at least in terms of the first part of the lap, because that is just flat out throughout these normally epic S's, which are resembling Maggots Beckett's Chapel, of course. We see Nikhil taking on a hot lap 4 as the first driver and just taking this section with the foot pinned to the floor, then finding the apex for a very fast hairpin of turn 11 as well, and going down the back straight. There is a possible grass cut in turn 12. Probably also one of the best overtaking opportunities, but then really getting the move done is very tough in these next few corners. Then around the long right-hander and into the final hairpin. Yeah, there's one corner less than in real life. 2 laps have been done, and Ludwig has set a 26.13 in the Ibanova with the special livery that's made for him, because it is Ludwig's home race around here. Crustunet, the world record holder, 25.92. is what he just sent in the chat in the Discord, which you should all join in the link in the description. It was a very sexy lap, if I'm allowed to say that. Let's see what he's doing on lap 3. He does not improve. 26.40 is still his personal best. Justin is joining Ludwig on the front row for the moment. The Flying Dutchman has already taken 3 pole positions this season. That's the most of anyone. Where is he again? He already did that in round 6 last time out as well, where he won. No, wait, did he take pole position? He didn't. Yes, he did. Okay, so then we have 2 wins from pole position this season now. We have 1 minute on the clock, and Majumdar has taken pole position for S25M, driver that's not racing that actively anymore, and he took a full break over the course of last season. This is just his 3rd race in the winter of 2026, and the S25M driver might deliver a pole position for his own team. Brilliant job, M. Ludwig in the much newer Ibanova GP team is still in 2nd. Sigma Bob has gone up to 3rd place in the Etruria Racing team. Crustunet in 4th now with a 26.17, but he's tied with Justin, so I guess Justin has set that time first. He's also dropped down to P5 for the moment. Just 10 seconds now left in this quali session. Senna is racing for the 2nd time for APA as he went away from S25M. Nitro got his spot right there. I can't find Senna. Here he is now, rounding the final corner. Are there going to be any changes at the front? Senna is taking the position back from Pigeon, as it seems, and Crustunet almost goes into the 25s on the final lap, and in a last-second effort, which I did not miss this time, he takes pole position. Now it's his 3rd pole of the season, and Crustunet, of course, I was already wondering where his form had gone that he'd shown the entire week. Here it is. Justin couldn't do anything about it, but he is going to have the inside line heading into the first turn. The hairpin doesn't quite open up like in real life, but it's still going to be a very tight start. Majumdar is back in the league, and I feel like I haven't appreciated it over the last seasons, but he is still always up there whenever he races, and so it's 3rd on the road for the owner of S25M Racing, with the same time as Aussie, who starts 4th place for the 2nd week running. It's Ludwig, the home hero, and Sigma Bob on the 3rd row, Senna and Pigeon, P7 and P8, and Nitro and Tyne ahead of Phoenix and Fetty, the top 12, which are going to be the positions that reward points in the race. Phoenix has a race start for Williams now after Sandvoort. He's been a reserve driver and just supporter of the team for a long time, but today he is racing for Minardi, filling in for Toaster, who is not taking part in the US Grand Prix, and with 16 consecutive rounds, this was the longest active streak of a driver racing for the same team. Piggy will now inherit that feat, with his streak being at 15 consecutive rounds. Guillermo in the Hurricane Racing team, and Nikhil, owner of Williams, in P14. Lozy in 15th place ahead of Matt. And Piggy is down in 17th, not able to match his teammate Ozzy, and Albano sadly was 3.5 tenths adrift. It's a wonderful day in Texas, no rain in sight, as the stage is set for Crustunet to extend his lead in the championship. But can Justin, the third man in the standings, do anything about it? Crustunet and Justin, it is then, starting from the front row at the Circuit of the Americas. It's a short run towards the first dangerous hairpin, and Justin and Crustunet managed to get away very well, especially Justin on the inside, who takes the lead away. Majumdar is still in P3, Aussie with a nice qualifying again for MP Motorsport in 4th place. Down towards the second hairpin of this track, Sigma Bob is in P6, the order pretty calm, but Justin is in the lead of the race. Sigma Bob tried to do the dive across the grass and didn't manage to do so, and he has lost ground to the top 6, but is still, in there. Senna in P6 on the softs. They're all on softs and mediums apart from Guillermo and Pigeon at the back. Is Senna. Oh, that's a lag rocket. Aussie and also Ludwig are gonna go off the track. That's something that's even happened to me in EMRL. And now they have also kind of lost ground to the top 3, as Majumdar is still up there, gaining positions off the start even. Now we go down the short start finish straight, but Majumdar around the outside with Justin going wide. Almost looked like he was losing connection again, like at Zandvoort. But it seems like it's been a mistake rather than that. And Crustunet attempts to move on the outside of Majumdar. Fantastic stuff. And that's how you get the inside line without Majumdar being able to defend. You gotta be smart, but you also gotta have some incredible skills. How did Crust pull that one off? Justin still waiting behind. Ludwig in 4th place. Albanovic P1 and P4, with Aussie trying to go around the outside of him, but I have to keep my eyes on the top 3, and there's been a massive collision between Ludwig again and Aussie, and they drop down. Just saw that on the map, and Justin, is he gonna do the move around the outside? Into the final corner we go. Brilliant job by the Dutch driver, as Majumdar and Crustunet got caught up on the exit of turn 16, opening that long acceleration through turn 17. And Justin is gonna hold the lead for now. Majumdar and Crust still swapping positions behind him. They know that they are still in this race, and that is it's still a long one. 57 laps is a lot, as always, around these retro tracks, as Fede dives down the inside of Sigma Bob, the Italian. Started down in P6, and now he's in P7. With Nitro ahead of him, making a good start from 9th. And Piggy also from 17th. Top 3 as they were, as I last watched them. Justin ahead of Majumdar. Not really a necessity to cover the inside in the hairpin of turn 11. They all just want to get a good run heading down the back straight there. I think it's pretty easy to defend on this track, I would say, but that also allows for some surprise moves that you don't expect then. And Senna has caught up to Crustunet, not to Justin and Majumdar, because they are kind of escaping from Crustunet, who is on medium tires. Senna is on softs. Of course, there are some slipstream games happening as well. The softs last 10 to 16 laps around here, the mediums 13 to 19, and the hards, let's take a look at Guillermo, 17 to 22. But yeah, Williams again with an awful qualifying, and Nikhil is dropped down to 18th place. Albano in P16 ahead of Pigeon and Nikhil. That's going to surprise a few people, as is Majumdar in the lead of the race in Season 7 of the Ultimate Mobile Racing League. Long after he's challenged for podiums, long after his stint at Williams, he is back fighting for it. With his own team, that's of course part of the Williams family, and also Senna and Crustunet have swapped round. Both of them now challenging their rivals again in the slipstream. Crustunet just breezes past the Brazilian and goes up into P3 again. Justin is staying behind, as his soft tires are now probably slower than Majumdar's mediums, but still Senna and Justin stay out there. The two new challengers for podiums and race wins since last season. Justin has already won 2 races this season. Senna only won last season. And now Crustunet is probably going to pass Justin here. Yes, no move attempted by Justin into the final hairpin. And Senna goes into the pit lane. Not sure if Justin actually wanted to do that, because he's also kind of weaving in the pit lane, maybe trying to send Senna a message through the screen. But anyways, they would have had to go off the softs at some point very soon. And Majum and Crust are probably not going to hold up each other too much. Fede up into 3rd place for now. Of course, he's going to drop back after he pits. But APA is looking very good, especially in contrast to S25M. APA is only in 6th place in the standings right now, but they have Senna and Fede in the standings, who are in 6th and 8th, and that is very good. Nitro is the best of the S25Ms in the standings in 15th place, yeah. Now we see Nikhil at the back going into the pit lane. Lozy is also racing for Hurricane Racing Team again. Matt is in his 60th career race. That's why there's going to be a special livery next race. I wasn't quite sure if he was going to race around here, but he does so. Not looking too successful, but generally I asked him how his season went so far before the race, and he just said very, 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 very bad. 1-2 for Etruria Racing Team. You might find that familiar from last race, but it is Sigma Bob, of course, with 0 stops, and Justin now having to do some incredible defensive work against Crust, who has gone for hard tires, and Maju on mediums. And Crustunet, with that tire disadvantage at the moment, is still going to try and take the lead of the race. He forces Sigma Bob wide with a dive bomb, but Justin just takes the offer. And that's a very nice, very simple way for him to take the lead again. And also Majumdar slips past Crustunet again. They are going for moves around here, but I think they all just know that their time will come, especially Crustunet. If he picks up the slipstream, can just lay back for a moment. And Senna is also right in this one. Sigma Bob still going his first set of mediums. He is the only one to do so. Only Guillermo has 0 stops as well, but he's on hard tires. Something that we've seen him do quite a lot already this season, especially at Zandvoort. Didn't quite work out all the time in wheel-to-wheel combat. And yeah, what a fight. 4 different teams and drivers in very different phases of their careers. Majumdar fighting for a podium for pretty much the first time in 2 to 3 seasons. As I said, now he goes across the grass, but still is in P3. Crustunet, of course, the championship leader right now, pretty clear, especially because Laguno doesn't race again. That he is the favorite for this title, and Paradrive's challenge has also kind of disappeared, and he's also not here today. And then we have Sigma Bob and Justin now in 2nd and 3rd in the championship. Justin is not too far behind. Crustunet is on 109 points and Sigma Bob on 96. Justin on 95. Yes, Sigma Bob might also win this title. Incredible to say, but I just have to go with Crustunet's, who's just way more experienced in these situations. Never won a title fight, of course, which is kind of the curse for him. And Justin has been sent wide. Maybe Majumdar bumped into the back of his car in turn 11, and yeah, Justin just barely kept it out of the gravel, I think, but just lost track position to the 3 other contenders for the win right now. Yeah, Justin and Senna, of course, established themselves as the quickest rookies last season, and that's how it is. This incredible fight for the win in the United States. Senna just hangs on around the outside, defending against Justin, and Majumdar is in 2nd, as Justin and Crustunet also kind of go wide in turn 16. And now Nitro is best of the rest in the second S25M. Is this a turnaround for the French team? I mean, they are in 5th in the standings, but they probably gonna lose that position to APA. At least that's what I would have expected before this round. As Crustunet and Justin are still scrapping. Crustunet prevails on the hards. Now the crossover time might come where Crustunet is going to be faster. Let's look at the last laps from them. Yeah, Justin with a 27.7. That's not very good. 26.80 for Crustunet. And I also just saw 27 for Majumdar. Not sure what Senna's lap time is, but he's in the lead of the race. Fantastic to see him back up there. He has had not the best run in his career. 10th place at Silverstone and 2 podiums for him this season. Only 3rd place in Portugal and Zandvoort. But he might be back to fight for the place that he is so eager about. Especially because Crustunet has just made another mistake, I think, and Majumdar is fighting with him. But that's how quickly it goes down these long flat out sections on this track, and Crustunet is right back up to the tail of Senna at very high speed. He goes around the outside again and does the same move that he already did in the first laps against Majumdar, I think. Now I think he touched the grass. Senna kind of bumps into him, but Crustunet is back in the lead on hard tires, and behind them they are gonna start considering an undercut maybe. Trying to get out of this chaos. I think that would be a pretty smart move. Apart from the fact that you lose slipstream, and yeah, look at the gaps behind them. Fede and Nitro are fighting for 5th. Then we have Phoenix. Haven't mentioned him at all yet, but he's racing for Minardi now. Already had 1 appearance for Williams this season. He started in P11. He's in 7th right now. Sigma Bob in 8th on old hard tires. Still also in there. Might get better for him towards the end of his stint. And now it has happened. Senna and Majumdar have pitted. Crustunet is still out there. Justin has also pitted, so I think that might have happened on the same lap. Justin passing Majumdar as he just goes wide, the Frenchman, in turn 17. Major is on hard, so he might also take the slipstream, but not sure if he's inside it anymore. And what is Crustunet doing? The fastest lap belongs to Phoenix right now. 26.2 is towards the high end that we're gonna see in the races here. And Fede running in 2nd, same number of stops as Crustunet. And same strategy. But he is going to drop back behind Justin, who goes for a dive against Senna. Senna is going to carry the momentum, but Justin outsmarting him with the line, I think, in the technical section of the track. And Justin takes 3rd place, I have to say, because Fede is still running in 2nd. And Majumdar has dropped back. The hard tire gamble has not paid off for him. He has nobody to take the slipstream from. Oh, and they almost come together, Senna and Justin, at the end of the straight again. And Sigma Bob's stint is indeed getting better as he passes Nitro. And Nitro is on fresh hards. Ah, yeah, of course, because Nitro has been fighting with Fede further ahead. Fede is now behind Nitro after pitting for the 2nd time. And Crustunet is still going on his old hard tires. He is going for a different strategy than all the other contenders for the win. Different strategy to Justin, Senna, and also Majumdar. And now Justin pits. Now Crustunet pits, I have to say, for soft tires. He's definitely going to go for another stop then. But he comes out right behind Justin and Senna, who have just tripped over each other again in the flat-out section. That's something that I have already mentioned in qualifying. And can Crustunet just power past on the quickest set of tires that the game has to offer? Or is the strategy that most of the others use just the better one? Crustunet can, of course, evaluate that after that, because he's also always doing the strategy graph. That's gonna be something very interesting maybe here, as Crustunet is already attempting the moves, but Senna and Justin know that they probably gain something if they defend right here. Senna leaving a cast width on the outside. Crustunet is not making it easy for Crustunet. Well, it looks like he's gone past the Brazilian. Only Justin left. They are right together. Crustunet cannot go for the outside and inside move, but still might pull it off on the soft tires, round the outside, in the right-hander and into the hairpin. But Senna is also still there, down the main straight again. And now he's got to be careful because there might be potential switchback coming up. But Crustunet has taken the lead off the race on soft tires. Now, who is going to have to pit first? I think it will be Justin on the medium tires, but it is going to be an interesting question. Is it going to be Crustunet on the soft or Senna on the hards? And also Majumdar is still only about a second behind the top three here. Fetty now clear best of the rest. Nitro, the Algerian in the S25M ahead of Singlebob in the Etruria Racing Team car. Phoenix still in 8th place. Then we got Piggy, who's made his comeback already in his first stint, fighting with him and Ludwig for 8th place, that is. Ludwig was a bit further up at the start, but still looking good for him and Ivanova GP, who are in second in the championship. Williams are not going to score big points today, and I think MP Motorsport won't either, because Piggy and Aussie are in 10th and 11th. Yeah, Aussie also dropping back right at the start. Oh, and did Crustunet consider the fact that Senna is still slipstreaming him? Lap 38. The hard tires of the Brazilian aging, as are the softs of Crust. But you could also say the strategies have been neutralized again. Crustunet has pitted a lot later, but at some point both are gonna have to pit. I think both are gonna opt for soft tires again. Very, very interesting dynamic, as Justin has also lost connection to them. And what is Majumdar going to do about that now? As his hard tires are probably quicker than the ones on the Etruria ahead of him. Yeah, there's no way Senna is going for a move if the door isn't very wide open at the moment. He knows what he has to do to take his second career win and the first ever for APA, for Fede's team, who joined the league in Season 5, I want to say, together with S25M, two teams that have been racing in AMRL before that. Oh, and Singlebob is losing many positions in the midfield, down to 12th place, just picking up 1 point. At this stage, he tries to get past Tyne again, who is racing again for one time. And then we have Guillermo in the Williams, who, for the first time ever, finished outside the points at Silverstone in his first race for Williams. But still, they go all over the road in that long right-hander. And Aussie takes another stop and falls back even further. And into the pit lane goes Senna. Crustunet has also already pitted. Where is he coming out? He's charging past Senna and he is still ahead. Not much has changed. Senna is gonna be in the slipstream if he just puts in some very nice laps. And yeah, Nitro and Majumdar. Not Nitro and Majumdar. Justin and Majumdar at the front, I would have said, if Justin didn't also already pit. And he's gone around the outside of Nitro pretty easily there. Yeah, Nitro is not in the fight for the lead. Fastest lap now goes to Crustunet, 26.22, but I think that's the same lap that Phoenix did before that. So they might share, not share the point, they might both get the point. I think that's how it works. And Majumdar is in first place, but suddenly he's a pit stop behind the Spaniard, behind him. And down towards turn 1 we go. Pretty easy move for Crustunet now. Very surprising, considering the fighting that we've seen between them earlier. But also Senna is just gonna pick up pieces here. As Nikhil has been lapped in the Williams. That is not good to see for his own team. He's now back to 100% ownership. Laguno no longer a team owner. It seems like he's not able to be that active at the moment. Probably not fighting for a third World Championship after this round anymore. Same can be said for Peru. He might be out of the fight. Crustunet still in it. Senna is going across the grass, but he's also very far behind in the championship as well. And that pretty much only leaves Justin and Sigurbob. But Crustunet leads the championship with 1 round less completed. Oh, and Matt now retires from the race. I think there's only been 1 race, however, so far where 18 drivers finished, and that was Brazil, round 2. And Matt kind of was announced before that he wasn't sure if he was going to finish it. Is out of the US Grand Prix, as Fede Pitts goes down to 8th place. Yeah, he is very well cemented in the higher points paying positions. Only has to get past Ludwig. And then Sigurbob and Nitro. Let's see what they're gonna do. And Justin is ahead of Senna. Wow. Yeah, Senna has dropped back massively over the last few laps. Crustunet is clearing the lead of the race, 2.3 seconds ahead of the Flying Dutchman, who's defending extremely aggressively from the Brazilian, sending him wide. In the technical section, let's see if they're gonna be happy with that in the steward's room, but it looked pretty clean in the short frame that I saw. But it is calming down right now. Senna is on hard tires outside of the slipstream of Justin even. Yeah, the tire wear is still gonna swap around again, as Justin might be slower towards the end, but not sure if Senna can recover from that. And Maju is not gonna win this, and probably also not gonna take a podium. Let's find a battle further towards the back, maybe between the two MP Motorsports, Ozzy and Piggy. And Tino appearing on the frame, going through the Maggots Beckett's Chapel imitation. Tyne Brown the outside in the hairpin. And he is in 9th place. Ozzy, ooh, a bit laggy maybe. Still ahead of Piggy. Tyne on soft tires, and that explains his eagerness to get ahead of them. And Guillermo is fighting for the last point against Ludwig, who has again lost ground in the latter stints here. Still fighting with the champion of the season that happened 1 year ago, and he is ahead again. Now taking a point, and Guillermo won't as of right now. Pigeon is in P13 now. He has at least cleared Lozi, Nikhil, and Albano. Albano is racing in the Minardi. Matt's just parked up here in the gravel. Very interesting. Lap 53 for Crustunet. And it is looking beautiful again, just like his chances for the title did before he retired from round 9 last season, where then the odds were with Laguno, and Laguno also brought it home in the final round at Canada. But now with Laguno not there to fight, and Laguno having to catch up, that's something that we haven't really seen ever before. In Season 5 he was kinda in the fight for the championship, but it was more between Crustunet, F1 fan, and Guillermo. He will be smiling underneath the helmet. Yeah, the remaining order behind the top 4, Nitro in 5th place, then Sigma Bob Fede in P7. Doesn't look like he is going to go further up. Sigma Bob is on very old hearts, but he's going to bring that across the line. Then Phoenix, Tyne, Piggy, Ozzy, Guillermo, and Ludwig, as I said already. But no real fights on track right now. Ludwig is slipstreaming Guillermo here. They are very closely together, as are the two MP Motorsports, but they are keeping it very clean to get the points across the line. And this is a fight. Senna is going past again. He is past Justin on the hard tires, and that is what his only hope might have been, and it has actually worked for him. Senna takes 2nd place, and now it's going to be hard for Justin to hang on. He's still staying in the slipstream. That's something that he's definitely going to be able to do, but it's going to have to be a very opportunistic move for the Dutch driver in the Etruria Racing team. On the last lap, Senna is covering off the inside through the technical section of this track. We go. Can Justin once again take a better line than the Brazilian? No, he cannot. Crustunet is finishing the Grand Prix in first again. He wins the United States Grand Prix. Senna brings across 2nd place across the line, and Justin in 3rd place, just about losing out to Senna on the better tires at the end. Majumdar is still picking up 4th place. He is able to put that in. I think he also did that last season. Kind of flying under the radar. This time he definitely didn't fly under the radar. He was right there. But 4th place. Fantastic for him and S25M with... Oh yeah, Nitro. Didn't talk about that, but I saw it. Retiring from the race towards the end. That is painful for the French outfit. They're still going to pick up 14 points from Maju. And there's a change in the podium positions after the penalties again. Senna loses 2nd place for his unsafe pit entry against Justin that left us wondering if Justin wanted to pit there or not. Turns out he didn't want to. And so it's welcome back to the podium, Majumdar. After over 2 seasons, his last podium, only his 2nd for his own team, was at the French Grand Prix in Season 5. Further back, Fede suffers a similar fate that he also had to endure around Portimao, losing 3 positions after 2 penalties. And Ozzy is disqualified for teleporting. That's something that usually shouldn't happen. Sigma Bob unchanged in P5, so Etruria Racing Team is definitely going to extend its advantage in the team's championship. Phoenix advances to P6 with Tyne in 7th place, Piggy in 8th, Williams E-Racing and MP Motorsport running short on points currently, even though they're the teams in 3rd and 4th in the standings. Fede ends up in P9 with Ludwig and Guillermo gaining 1 spot as well, and Pigeon picking up the final points then. And finishing the order, Lozy, Nikhil and Albono didn't score points, and Nitro, Matt and Ozzy with retirements and disqualifications. Another clean sweep for Crustunet in the winter season. After Uruguay, he takes 28 points as well in the United States and increases the lead over the two Etrurias to 25 points. That is 1 full race victory. And the Etrurias swap around in their order. Justin is now in P2, Sigma Bob in 3rd place, Laguno in 4th, hasn't raced today, and his name is in a bit lighter blue than Seguin and Nikhil, which means that he is now a reserve driver instead of a main driver. And this is one of the biggest news that we've ever had in the Ultimate Mobile Racing League. Laguno steps down from being a main driver for Williams for the first time ever. He's going to take a break from the game for a little while. These are his words. He doesn't feel like he's enjoying the game a lot lately, and he feels like he's not really enjoying the game a lot lately and doesn't have a lot of time to practice either, which explains why he's not still completely dominating, and his motivation has just faded a bit for the moment. He said it's 100% not a retirement, and he might even return for the final race of the season, but things are not going to be like we were used to over the last 7 seasons. And so the rarely disputed GOAT of this league sets his game to pause for a while. 25 race wins, dominating most of the records that he could have set. And for me, that was clear from the start. I mentioned it in my first ever commentary on the first ever race, because I was competing myself in the time trial leagues back then, and I was always trying to beat this guy, and I'm not sure if I ever could. And of course, in the league himself, he became something else. It took him a while, as the likes of Cato and Piggy matched him at least in the summer 2024 season. Then he had his Device issues, Season 3 was the battle between Crust and Guillermo, but suddenly Laguno won half the races of that season, and from then on, there was the longest dominant phase that we've ever seen, and the longest winless streak for Laguno has just been the last few races since round 2 of this season. And so we say goodbye for now. Of course, one season is just 10 weeks in the league. Let's see what is gonna happen. We say goodbye to one of the most competitive heads in the entire community. Just great to talk to him outside of the races whenever he is active on there, because he also likes to stay out of the chaos. Many things that we should all adapt, not only in this game. Enjoy the break and see you around, Laguno. We're in the middle of the standings. Pero, Senna, Ludwig, Fede, Piggy, and Majumdar round out the top 10 after 7 rounds. There's not many people with many points this season. And while Crustunet, the team owner of Ivanova GP, keeps up his form, so does the Trurier Racing team. They're on their way to a 3rd team's title. And with Aussie's DSQ, Williams stay ahead of MP Motorsport by 1 single point. And our campaign will continue at an absolute classic for this league, the Valencia Street Circuit, a track that Crustunet has never won, but it's going to be his only home race this season, and it will be 3 rounds to go when the Ultimate Mobile Racing League returns.